Hello, everybody. Welcome again. This is Miguel, and this is How Was Your Race? Today we have Ruth on again. Ruth has ran 16 marathons and over 100 half marathons. Um, her and I have ran together in Chicago, Monumental, Derby, Air Force Marathon, and I believe that is it.
Blue Ridge and Fort Bend.
Yes, Blue Ridge Marathon and Fort Bend Marathon. Um, she is coming in with that Hall of Famer status with those 100 plus half marathons. And today we're going to be talking about the Run the Blue Ridge Marathon, half.
From Bluegrass.
Oh,
Bluegrass.
Bluegrass. See, I'm getting the Blue Ridge from Virginia crossed up with Bluegrass from Kentucky. Okay, so Run the Bluegrass is going to be the race we're featuring today or discussing today. The beer that we're going to be featuring is from West Sixth Brewery, S'more Snake. S'more Snake is a barrel aged imperial stout with marshmallow, chocolate, graham crackers, and vanilla at a nice smooth 13 ABV and around a 40 IBUs. They don't have the IBU listed, so I'm just going off my own tongue here to see what I think it should be. So I'll put it around a 40. If they want to correct me, feel free to send me a couple of bottles and I will definitely be corrected. I doubt that's going to happen, but hey, a man can
You
drink.
never know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the race, the Run the Bluegrass. How did you first hear about Run the Bluegrass?
So I've heard about Run the Bluegrass from a bunch of my friends. My friend Pam had run it for years, and I had wanted to run it, but it always landed on a conflict. Go St. Louis. I was doing that one for a while. And there was Carmel. Carmel landed on the same weekend as Carmel. So those two, it was always a conflict, and I could never figure out a way to get down there and run the race. And then COVID happened, and they were one of the few races that were able to reschedule during 2020. It was supposed to be in the spring, and they were able to hold it in the fall. But obviously, not everybody who was signed up for the race was able to run in the fall. So, a friend of mine had a friend who was going to run with her, and that friend couldn't make it. So she just transferred her bib to me. And so I was able to run it in the fall in 2020. And that was the first time running it.
Awesome. Now is this a full and a half or just a half?
They have a half. They have now the years I've run it, it's changed from year to year because they've had to change their course and they've had to change their start location. A lot of things have changed, but they have a 7 miler or a 10K. And they also have 5K. So it's alternating between 7 miler or 10K.
And then a half marathon option or no?
Yeah, then a half marathon. Yeah. Half,
Oh, okay.
7 or 10, or, 7 or 6.2, and 5K.
Okay. Okay. Now, yeah, I remember I've done there's several races that we've seen over the years, and for different reasons they have to move around different middle distance events and things like that. So it's always especially the middle distance, you might want to jump on things when you if that's your goal is it's one of those middle distance, the 10Ks, the 7Ks. 7Ks are a little less common, but they are out there. I know Fort Bend added a 10K or a 10 miler.
Okay.
I forget. Fort Bend is on the northeast side of Indianapolis. It's a fall race. It's tied in with the Monumental series for Run Indiana or Run Indianapolis. For those unfamiliar, but okay, so okay, it sounds so. Tell me about the expo for this race. Is it well the race itself? Is it a larger race, a smaller race? Would you put it around like the 2000?
So before 2020, it was huge. It sold out. It was packed, absolutely packed. It took place at Keeneland, and they filled all the grass there with cars parking for the race. After COVID, it has diminished a lot. I would say it's on the smaller end. It's not like my local race. that is like 300 people, but it might be 1,000, maybe 2,000 at most. It's pretty small.
Yeah, that's sometimes those smaller races can be hidden gems as well. I
Oh,
find. So how was the expo for this race? Or well, I have been asking in other interviews, I asked about the registration process. However, that seems to be that most races are handled by one of two or three large registration outfits. Do you remember the registration process, or is it just so fluid that it doesn't even stand out?
well, I do remember because it was different. It was Race Passport, which that's the only race that I know of that has used Race Passport. And they had like a whole record of how many years you've run it and things like that that you could see your stats up until this past year when it changed ownership and now it's Run Sign Up. But
Oh,
yeah, Race Passport. But every time I saw that pop up in my email, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Run the Bluegrass.
okay. Okay, so you signed up, you start to go. Is there a lot of emails, a few emails, just the right amount?
So when Eric owned it, it was every email was personal. Every email was like a personal letter from the race director to you about all he was doing to set up the race. It was his personal passion project. Like he had special bourbons made for each year. And the year that it moved to a winery, he had the winery make a special wine just for the race.
Mm,
And so every email was a personal letter about his journey and why he was doing what he was doing and why the race medal looked the way it did. So there were consistent emails, but they didn't feel like your normal like newsletter type. It was just a story to help you get to the race.
okay, that's nice. I like that. I like that. Now, with the okay, so we're going through, we've registered for the race, we're getting a few emails, we're leading up to the event itself. How was the expo for the race?
So the expo's taken place at a couple of different places. So the three places I've been at for the location is the Kentucky Castle, um, the Keeneland race course, and then the Talon Winery. Talon Winery has been the last 2 years, and it takes place in their banquet room, which is basically their wedding venue, things like that. That's where they have the expo. And they usually have some sort of whiskey tasting or bourbon tasting, wine tasting. Bend Athletics is there. It's not a huge expo. It's usually a couple of local vendors, but the local vendors are good. Occasionally, we get some random ones like Marshall Marathon was there one year. I'm like, okay, out of West Virginia, coming all this way for this expo
Okay.
because it's crammed into basically a wedding venue, so it's not huge, but they try to get good quality vendors there.
Okay. So you'd be able to get you would have a large selection of hand flask or shoes or shirts, but you'd be able to get a hand flask, a water bottle, or maybe some gels or so. You wouldn't have a large selection, but you'd have a
Not
bit.
really. I don't remember them having any fuel or
Oh
hand
wow.
bottles. None of that. You'd have to find a local running store for that. You get some Run the Bluegrass gear, like some shirts and shorts and things like that say Run the Bluegrass on them.
Okay.
But no, I don't remember any running stores being there.
Okay. Well, that's now with that being in Lexington, I'm trying to think because Lexington's a very interesting setup. I'm going to pause it here. Well, I want to see if my dog keeps barking. I'm gonna have to remember. Can you hear my dog bark?
I heard a little bit.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. My other dog, he's got like a growth on one side of his neck, and he's starting to get a growth on the other.
Oh,
They told us what they think it might be, but they can't fully diagnose it. But he does not bark nearly as much as he used to,
oh,
which is not a good sign.
oh.
Okay, I think he's done barking. And of course, as soon as I say that, he just poof. And then here in a second, my son will come in and because I'm letting him use his tablet to download a book from the library because he can normally we'd have hardback physical books, but that's not an option right now. So I'm like, well, okay, we'll just do digital, digital books in the library, and he can download something and read that.
I mean, it's so much easier to download it on some of those apps sometimes.
It really is. Okay, so we were at the expo. You don't have many options. You can go to local places. I was, I don't even know why I was going about to ask. I don't know why I was going to ask if is it far from the airport or something, but I guess that's not really that relevant.
Well, hotels. It is about 20-minute drive from hotels. So
Okay, so the expo and such, that's how far is that from the city center? Is that because you spoke we look behind the curtain, we spoke a little bit before the interview, surprise, surprise, and it's located we spoke of wineries and how the races at a winery. Most wineries are not in the middle of the city, so that led me to think, um, is it how far is it from like the city center or from local like hotels or things like that?
well, the race has always been held out kind of in the middle of nowhere. No matter which location it is, it's about 20 minutes from the hotels that we stay at, which is right on Man of War Drive. I just always remember Man of War Drive and driving in. So, and that's kind of like a big circle around Lexington, it seems like. So, about 20 minutes from where we stay. It's known for being around horse farms. So, you kind of can't be around horse farms in the city.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they kind of conflict the two, the horse farm and city life and so on and so forth. Also, horse farms take up a lot of land, are kind of pricey, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so go to the expo. We have our bib. If we need to get anything, for a resupply, we forgot or whatnot, we have to go find a local running store. You stay at the hotel. You wake up. So, how was the drive in to the event?
I mean, it's windy. There's a lot of hills back there, so it's not the most direct route, but you got your GPS so you can get in there. With it being at the winery, it's like a single drive in, so they have to cut you off at entering. So if you drive in and you're like you oversleep and you're freaking out because you're gonna miss the race, and there's a chance you won't be able to get in because they have to close the driveway at a certain time to start the race. So there's a chance that you could miss it if you do oversleep.
Okay, so it's a little more crucial for you to wake up early, not just on time, but early, and then leave the hotel and so on. Yeah, progress further.
Yep.
Okay. What is the name of the winery? I don't know if I missed that earlier, but what is the name of the winery?
It's Talon Winery, Talon, like a claw.
Oh, okay, Talon Winery. Okay. Um, and then once you get there, are there people helping you park in an organized fashion, or is it just a free for all?
Oh, there are so many people helping you park. There are so many people guiding you to the right parking spots. And they've got you parking on grass and they've got people guiding you to the start line. So they've got a lot of volunteers out there making sure everybody gets to where they need to go.
That's great that everything is organized, that they have volunteers helping you so that it's a better parking situation. Once you what is there, I assume there's just going to be porta potties because with that many runners, I don't know if the indoor facilities will be open or not.
They do have the indoor facilities open for bathroom use. Basically, the same place you go to for the expo is open for using the bathrooms before the race.
Oh, okay. Hey, we really appreciate full flush toilets here at How Was the Race.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so we're going through. We use the restroom if we need to. We line up in the race corral. I assume it's one large corral, or is
It's one large corral. It used to be segmented into smaller corrals when it was bigger, but now it's one large corral and kind of self-seated.
okay. That's. Do you know if they offer an early start by chance?
They do not offer an early start, mainly because once they start, they have to close off the roads and they got to let people drive in. So, and there's no sidewalks. at all on any of these roads.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I remember there's been a few races I went to that had unofficial early starts, but that was once again that was unofficial. So it was, and there was an issue with the weather because it was supposed to get up to 95 or 98 degrees that day. So
Ouch.
yeah, yeah, it was real. It was real. So I asked, I was like, hey, can we start early? The guy was like, yeah, you just can't finish age group or overall. And I was like, you got it, bub.
Yep.
That is not an issue for
Yeah.
me. So I started 45 minutes early roughly for that race.
Well, and this race went from being late March, early April to mid-May because of the changing of locations, as well as like they can't have the horses disturbed during certain times because it's like stud season type thing. And
Okay.
so, yeah, they had to move it to mid-May. So we went from possibility of snow to possibility of overheating. So we've gotten a lot of different weather out there.
That's being in Kentucky. The weather can be even in mid-May. It can go either way, but you're unlikely to get snow in mid-May in Kentucky. Um, Early, I know at Derby, which is the first Saturday in May, there has been snow, but that. I mean, you're talking about over 150 years that Derby's been going on. A lot of things can happen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the race starts out. Gun goes off, race starts, everybody goes. Well, eventually the people in the back start to filter through the gantry and start their Garmins or whatever, their Suntos, what have you. What is the course like? Is it more of a is the well, I guess there's a 5K, the middle distance, and the half. Does that all happen at the same time, or is that different?
They do all start at the same time, but as soon as you exit the driveway, the 5K and the middle distance one goes left and the half goes right.
Oh, okay.
So
So
you
you're
have a out and back left, and then we do a loop.
okay. Okay, so we're going out on the loop. What is the course more of a rolling hills?
One of my favorite memories from Run the Bluegrass was I was running next to these two women who were dressed in costume, derby type costumes, and I overheard them say, "That was 23, wasn't it?" "No, no, that was 22." I'm like, "Wait a second, we're on a half marathon. What are they counting?" Like, even if we were counting kilometers, you're going too far. We're not that far yet. And then I heard more of their conversation, and they said, that one was too small. It didn't count. They counted the hills on the course. So they were counting down the hills until we got to the finish because it is literally up, down, up, down. There's no flat, no flat. You're going up or down during the entire course.
Oh, okay. That could be taxing, but that at least would change the muscle groups being used. Steph Dunlap, her and I spoke. Her and I spoke of that, and she was speaking of how she likes a little bit of. Well, I don't want to say how many hills she likes. I don't recall off the top of my head, but she likes that it changes up your muscles that you're using.
Mhm. Well, and the grade is always different. It's like you're not doing the same grade over and over again. So sometimes you get some shallow hills, sometimes you get some steeper hills. So it is really changing the terrain regularly.
Anything that's the USA were was it was it any that was sustained hills for more than say a minute and a half at a well I'm assuming you probably ran around a 12-minute pace.
Around 10-minute pace.
My bad.
That's cool.
Okay, so at a 10-minute pace, which a 10-minute pace would put you around a 210 half.
Yeah.
So at a 10-minute 210 half, was any of the hills more than about a minute or so, or no?
I'd say one or two were. There are a
Okay.
couple of longer hills.
Okay, so there's some that are longer, and I assume those are probably also not as steep.
Yeah, there's one that's steep and long, and that's at the end. up the driveway.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you rock it down, but you climb back.
Yes.
Okay, so as you're going along the course, how are the aid stations? Are there plenty of aid stations? Are they well manned? Are they manned appropriately? I guess I should say, because if it's 20 volunteers but not that many runners, that's one thing. Whereas 5 volunteers at Chicago would not be enough.
They have appropriate aid stations, like 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and they usually have like 3 to 5 volunteers per aid station. I like to say I've got teacher bladder because I don't usually need to use the bathroom most of the time. I can do my marathons. I've only had to stop to use the bathroom maybe twice during my marathons, all 16 of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, teacher bladder. So, you know, I usually don't notice the porta pots, but the last time I ran it, I needed one more bathroom stop before the race started. And I didn't get it. And it wasn't until mile 5 that there was a porta pot.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, that was rough. That was very
yeah.
rough.
I know because I pace, there's two races I pace often. One is Monumental, and the other one being Derby. That's the two that I pace often. I'm most familiar with. With those, I always try to tell my pace group, if you can make it past the first two porta potties, then the line generally diminishes significantly. However, for Monumental, I believe the first porta potty is around the 1.8 mile mark, roughly. And then the second one is probably around the 5K mark, maybe 3.4, 3.5.
Hmm.
So, but that, if you can't make it past those are at least options.
Right.
However, having to go all the way to mile 5, that's a that's a long way to go.
Yeah. I didn't notice that before, and I don't know if it's the new ownership and they just didn't have enough time to arrange enough porta pots or what happened. But I was like, okay, this might be a problem for this race in the future if they don't improve the porta pot situation. But
And
luckily, there was like no line when I got there, so I don't know if people just feed themselves or if they got over that hump and could keep going.
I will say, in my experience, I had a lot to these interviews. Sorry, not sorry. Um, in defense of the new ownership, because I do know race directors and have been there when they've been um, on race morning. Sometimes the porta potties don't get delivered where they should be.
Sure.
I don't know if that's an issue with the race director not communicating with the company, or the company not communicating with the people who come out and set it up, or I don't know where the miscommunication happens, but I don't want to completely blame any one person.
Right.
So, so you're going in, and so you go through. You're at mile 5. You're continuing to go. Um, is there any is there much, because you're out there in horse country, um, which there's also a race in that area. Well, I don't know if it's in that area called the horse country half.
I've heard of that one. I've not run that, but heard.
I haven't either. I think it's a spring race as well, but I'd have to look it up to double check. So don't quote me. Um, are there many houses that you're passing? Are there many is there much crowd support from other spectators, or is it mainly on your own?
Well, I like to call it my Zen race because there's something about being out in the horse country. There's times when horses just come and run right alongside of you while you're running the race, which is
That's
so
beautiful.
amazing. Yeah. And there are people who come out of their houses and set up their own aid stations and cheer for us. The people who are working the aid stations are full of spirit when you come up to them. They are just there cheering. But a lot of time it's just you and other runners and just quiet and enjoying the horses and nature. And it's just, like I said, Zen race.
So okay, so that now that before you had said Man of War, which made me think, and I almost slapped my head in the face later. I did face palm, because Man of War is a famous horse.
Yes.
I'm not sure how many races he won, but he he ran a lot. He won a
Mhm.
lot, or some of the bigger ones. Um, so you're going down there. You run this punchy course, this with aid stations with bathroom at mile 5. After mile 5, were they any regular interval with the porta pots?
I didn't catch it because I already gone to the bathroom. So
Oh, okay, fair enough.
yeah.
And that's one thing. I mean, if you're not really thinking of it, it might not be something that occurs to you. So I could see that being not something you automatically take a note of.
I feel like as a pacer, I notice it more because I need to direct my runners to the porta pots in case they need them. But yeah, as a runner, I usually just fly past them if I don't need them. And then when you need them is when you notice.
Yes. Okay, so you're coming in and you're coming back to Talon Winery, and you're coming up to the final big hill. Um, so as you come up the big hill, you cross the finish line. What is the what is the finish line area like? Is it kind of a low key event? Is it kind of a party with a DJ? What's going on there?
They do have a DJ, but it is very low key. They've got tables of snacks and you can take what you want. Leave what you don't want. We got pictures by the snacks, so they weren't trying to rush us out or anything. But if you go a little bit past the finish line, all the way down to the tasting room, you can get a free glass of wine or a beer with your bib ticket. So the winery has, this is the second year they've done the winery. The first year was just a free Michelob Ultra, generic thing that they just handed out at the finish line. But then they got the winery to pair with them. So we got a free glass of wine if you wanted a glass of wine.
Okay. I mean, every episode we feature a beer. I think I'd be willing to try a wine for that. I've had wine before. Um, some people say they were good wines, and some people said they weren't good wines. I don't know. I just know if I enjoyed it or not.
Yep.
So,
Well, they had three options for the wine too. You could get a red, a white, or a sweet.
oh, are sweets normally? I guess it could be red or white. I think I had sweet red.
Yeah, sweet can be red or white.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. My depth of knowledge of wines is probably shallower than a kiddie pool. I'm a I'm a beer guy, but hey, that I think when in Rome, I would definitely want to try that out.
Yeah. And I only learned about it because I like sweet wines, and most people are red or white, and those are all dry wines. And so I'm always like sweet, 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 like whatever you have that's sweet, I will take it.
Next time you come to Derby, I might have to swing you by a brewery or two, or there's a couple bottle shops I might have to introduce you to.
I love
Eh,
that.
So, the okay, now remember last time we spoke of the medal for Flying Pig. Flying Pig had the pig butt on the back end, which is awesome.
Yeah.
With this one taking place, it starts and finishes at the winery, but it runs along horse country. So is there like is there a horse drinking a glass of wine?
Well, Eric always tried to do something special with a specific horse or with something with Lexington history. Like one year it was a giant chicken, one of the barn chickens. So it
Oh,
was like the quilt pattern chicken.
oh, okay, okay.
So I don't have I tried to find the 2024 one. I found the 2023 and it's a painting of horses and it's texture
Oh,
and it's called Color Rush and it's got the history of the painting on the back of the medal.
yeah. I my friend William will probably be proud of me. I actually recognized that as soon as you showed it to me.
Oh, nice.
But because being her pacing and running derby so much, w Ruth and I we see horses a lot there, and if you do urban bourbon, that's another chance to see more horse things within the city of Louisville. So that painting, it's a it's a very well known, well, in my book at least, it's a very well known painting. So that's
Yeah.
oh that'd be a that'd be an awesome medal to have
Oh,
on
it
the wall.
absolutely is. Yeah, and you can see the texture on it. It's not flat.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
so it's like yeah, it's raised and
Mm-hmm.
that's very it's probably about let's say 4 inches, about 4 inches probably.
Maybe three. There's my head. So
Okay, so yeah, that's a very nice medal. I like that medal.
yeah,
I
the
didn't know.
first year at the winery, it was reflective. It was like a mirror surface. It still had a horse on it, but they wanted you to reflect on yourself. But also had grapes in the background for the winery.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it did have a little bit of horse and wine.
Yep.
Okay, that's nice. It's nice when, especially a smaller race, because a larger race, if you do Monumental, Chicago, New York, Flying Pig, those are larger races, so they can spread the cost of making the medal across more participants. Because to make a unique, coming from somebody who's never ordered medals, but just how industry typically works, if you want to make one medal, you have to pay for a mold. If you want to make 1,000 medals, you still pay for one mold. And if you make 10,000 medals, theoretically, you're still using one mold. So to make the mold might cost, I don't know, $500. But to produce one medal would be $500 plus, the material. But to make 500 medals, that's 500 divided by 500, so it's $1 plus the cost of materials. So it's nice to see that these smaller races can still hire out the get the process done to have that. So how did you decide to celebrate this race? Did you go by the tasting room and sit there a little too long? Did you just have one and book it?
Went to the tasting room, had my glass of wine, and I bought a bottle of wine to take home with me. So then we went to lunch at a local place. I don't remember the name. We keep going there. But it's a local place. Um, and then usually we stop at Wine and More to get like more wine.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it's when you're there, experience the area and having wine that's made in Kentucky. If you're traveling from out of state, I'd imagine it's probably not the easiest thing to acquire is Kentucky wines. So I don't really look for Kentucky wines when I travel, but when I go to Louisville, I wouldn't expect to see a large amount of Lexington wines just because you're already in Louisville, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, enjoy the area, have that local restaurant, have that local wine. I like West Six Brewery, so have that local beer.
Josie's. The name of the restaurant is Josie's.
Josie's.
Yep. I knew it was gonna come eventually.
Isn't there a song by like
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, so okay. So that's real nice. Yeah, Josie and the Pussycats. Easy way to remember that one.
Well, I've tried to get local wines whenever I've traveled just because it is different to get different wine from different states. And when I went to Chicago, I'm like, oh, I totally need to pick up some Illinois wine while I'm here. Couldn't find anywhere selling local wine in Chicago. Nowhere.
Huh.
So I ended up picking it up on my way to go St. Louis one year. So I have one bottle from Illinois from there. But yeah, trying to find it in Chicago, can't find it.
There was Heather. Heather and I spoke on the Heartland Marathon Series, day 3, I believe it is, in outside of Portage, Indiana. That was the episode that was released recently as of recording. Um, and then anyhow, we did the Springfield Marathon. Yes, the Springfield, Illinois Marathon in Springfield, Illinois. And that race takes place the year that we did it. It was a 2020 race, I believe, and it took place at a winery.
Nice.
However, Springfield, Illinois is very hard. It's not, it's not, it's kind of out of the way. It's one of the harder state capitals. If you're going to Chicago from Indiana, you're not going by there. If you're going to St. Louis, you're not going by there. If you're going to Des Moines, Iowa, you also don't really go by. There's Springfield is a hard place to just drive by.
Uh,
So, but that's a nice. Well, the year I did it was a COVID version, so I don't want to poo poo on the race. It was a race during COVID.
right. We didn't have many.
No, we did not. But okay, so I will say, as you travel, if you ever see a wine that's called Atlantic Intercoastal Region, that is a New Jersey wine.
Okay.
So that's as you travel up in that area, or if you're, yeah, if you're looking and you see it, that's going to be the New Jersey area. They got that wine designation to my memory.
I'll remember that.
So okay, well, is there? I think I know I've asked you this question before because we've been on a show, but let me go ahead and ask again. What shoes do you typically run in?
Brooks Ghost or Mizuno Wave Rider right now.
All righty. And then what watch do you run with?
I've got the Garmin Fenix 6S.
Okay. Now, I my son's wearing my Phoenix. I have the 6X, but I'm a bigger guy, so the 6S doesn't look right on me. I tried on my friend's 6S one time and I was like, whoa, there it actually does make a difference. Um, but then the shoes also, I'm running in the A6 Glycerin White, I believe it is. The reason why I ask this question is a lot of times people will come up to us at the Pacer booth and they'll ask, um, what shoes do you run in? And it's hard for me. I try not to be too curt about it, but I'm like, I run into shoes that fit my feet. And not too many people ask about which watch I'm using. I will admit that. However, I know that for some people they want to see the new shiny object and the bright shiny object, and they think that to run fast, you need the latest watch and the latest this and the latest that. And the 6S, the Garmin 6 series, Phoenix 6, came out around I think 2018, maybe 19.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I got it in 2020.
okay, so you got yours in 2020. Um, I got mine in 19 because the one I had before, the battery was such a short life. It was a Vivo Active Fit. They don't even make
Oh,
the
yeah.
watch
Yeah.
anymore. It only had a 10-hour battery life, and that was in power saving mode, I believe. Like
Ooh.
hey, it was good for halves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with a chest strap and running marathons, it would die. Like I died. My watch died at mile 24 of my first marathon. Um, so uh, that. But the thing is that even with my watch dying, I still finished.
Right.
And even no matter what shoes I run in, I don't run in Nikes. I've ran 3 miles in Nikes, and at mile 1.8, I was going to throw them away, or not throw them away, but never run in them again. And friend of the show, Peter, he runs in, I believe, Vaporflies or Next Percents, which are the Nike upper line shoes. He loves them.
Mhm.
I wouldn't touch them. Um, However, I think I still haven't beat on number of marathons. So, for those out there, listening and you're thinking about what shoes to get and everything else, go to your local running store, get the shoes that fit your feet, and whatever watch you have, it'll probably get you started.
Mhm.
Brandon, he was on the podcast also with Heather when we did the Heartland series. He runs with his phone. That's his tracking device, is his phone. And his 10K time is faster than my 10K time. His 5K time is fast. So don't get over focused on your gear.
I'm the same way with Hokas, the way you are with Nikes. Like I tried them for a demo run once, and I'm like, never again. My feet are never going in Hokas ever again. And I know people who swear by them who would never wear anything other than Hokas. So I totally get that.
I think I've owned 6 or 10 pair of Hokas. But yeah, it's what fits our feet, what fits us. So okay, so in closing, is there anything you wanna add on? Anything you wanna say?
Well, I would say for Run the Bluegrass, please, if you're curious about it, sign up. It is known as, I think, let me get the exact phrasing correctly, America's Prettiest Half. And I do have to say, it is so gorgeous running along those horse farms and running with the horses. And they have the best photographers. They will sit in the middle of the road to get a good picture of just you with a gorgeous background behind you of all this foliage. And they're free. They're free pictures. So
Oh.
I know. And so, it's a great race, but they were losing so many runners because of the change of venue, the change of date, the change of so many things that it had to change ownership. And luckily, John's Run Shop picked it up, but they're going to need support of runners to keep it going. And I would hate to see this race die because of all the changes. I think they're keeping it mid-May. I think they're keeping it at the winery. And honestly, if you have ever wondered about this race, please sign up for it. Help keep it alive because it is a really good race and I would hate to see it die.
All righty. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the pod again. Really do appreciate this. Really appreciate your insights and your your reviews. Your yeah. So,
Well, you're
but
welcome.
awesome. So, all right. Well, with that, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us again. And I would also like to say that run the race you're in, and Ford is a pace.